Mega Man.
Hello and welcome to Real Person Reviews. I'm Sam, and I'm a real person, and today I want to talk to you, and not you, but you, about Mega Man 5 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. A few things up front. Again, this is part of the Mega Man series, so I'm going to assume that you already know stuff about the previous games or have been keeping up with my reviews of the Mega Man series. Go ahead and check this out if you haven't yet. It just helps me keep from repeating myself too much. Also, I played on the Mega Man Legacy Collection, so if for the 3DS. So if there's any problems you think with that one in general, I mean, oh well, like that's the one I had. And if there's any weird oddities because it's on that, it's because it's on that. Just thought I'd mention it. And as always, there is a written review you can look at before, after, or instead of this video review, and I'll link that in the description. And I think that's pretty much everything to start it off for the preface. Let's look at this thing. Well, like I said, Mega Man 5 is the 5th installment in the Mega Man series. And what's interesting is that the opening cinematic actually starts off pretty simple. It gets straight to the point. Is that there are this group of robots that have started causing a bunch of destruction, and it's up to Mega Man to stop them. But the interesting thing is that these robots seem to be being led by none other than Proto Man, Mega Man's long lost brother. The thing you found out at the end of Mega Man 3. So it's kind of continuing with that storyline. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's the plot. Just go fight the 8 master robots, and you go hit the stages, fight the robots, get their powers, use their powers against other robots and enemies and stuff. And once you beat those stages in whatever order you see fit, you then go to a set of more linear stages, ultimately getting to the end of the game. A lot of the stuff just is, this was already here. It's just brought back again. You still got Rush Coil, you still got Rush Jet, no Rush Marine this time, I guess that's different, but you still got the charge shot with a slightly larger shot now. It's even a larger projectile when you charge it up. Of course, like I said, there's new bosses and new stages, it's all that stuff's all new. You also get this item called the Super Arrow, which you can shoot, and you can ride on it as it rockets across the screen. It also can stick into walls and make temporary platforms for you. So there's that. And it's also, and I don't know if this happened to appear, I thought I read that it appeared in Mega Man 4, but I don't remember seeing one anyways, if it was there. There's a thing that's like an M-tank. It might just be in this one. I guess they call it like a mystery tank. So it's kind of like the E-tank, except that it fills up the all your energy, and it fills up all of your weapons to max. So that's a new thing that's introduced as well. And I think... Oh, and then this is the first introduction of the character Beat, which is a mechanical bird. And you'll get beat if you collect all these items. There's one in each of the stages. And the items, they end up spelling out Mega Man V, the V for 5. There's one in each of the 8 stages, and they're either hidden or in tough to reach areas. So that's kind of the thing there, and that I think that about covers it for the explanations as far as those go. And I'll say I like this game. It's a solid Mega Man game. Another one where it's got the good controls. It's got really nice visuals. It's got some good music, and it's fun. It feels pretty well balanced. Actually, a lot of the robots are pretty manageable, even just with your Mega Buster, due to the charge shot, and because their patterns are a little more they're a little less sporadic and complex, and they're also they seem to be easier to handle on They don't seem to be quite as like crazy fast, where you have to predict what they're going to do before they even do it. When you don't necessarily have any certainty they're going to do it, it's more like, oh, they're doing this, I'm going to react to it, which I think is nice to have that something more like that for a change, to make that viable, and again make your strategy more varied. Of like, maybe this boss I just can't really do their patterns that well, but this other ones like I can, and maybe I'll start with different ones and have the different weaknesses and whatever and the way I need them, that kind of thing. I think the super arrow thing is kind of a neat item too. I don't use it a ton, but I guess you could use it in certain situations, and I just didn't. So maybe that was more on me. And I mean, it's kind of neat. I guess I guess I like they didn't waste your time with a big like, oh, here's a big elaborate thing to start the game off. It's like, no, here's your little simple plot. Like, that's all you need is this premise to get you to fight these robots. Like, okay, cool, go with it. And oh, this Proto Man thing. Well, let's see what we can figure out about him. That'd be interesting. Yeah, that's I don't know. Like, it's very solid. It doesn't really do anything wrong. But as far as complaints, well, like I said, it's pretty standard. It's just more of the same Mega Man stuff. It does kind of feel like this should have just been Mega Man 4, because they kind of acknowledge the Proto Man thing, but whatever, they put it later, that's fine. But it does the same like Robot Master thing, Wheel of Weaknesses thing. It does also like goes back and it reverts to the thing of like, there's not any depth in this. There's like usually just one thing that's good against the character, and like the other things are either normally effective or not at all effective. There's not as much variance in it, and that's a bit of a shame. I feel like they could have done better with that. If it feels a little lazy there, and a lot of it feels, oh my god, a train. A lot of it feels really lazy, because it's like, no, you're not really doing anything all that new for a Mega Man game. You're just doing the same stuff all over again, and that's why I guess it's like it doesn't seem that innovative. It's not like pushing the series forward in any way really, and it's not, it's not like the first game or like comparatively all that different to other ones. So I think that's why it ends up coming off as kind of like, okay, we get it. Especially after Mega Man 4 was a lot of that as well. So, though I will give them one little thing they finally fixed, was that when you pause and then like unpause, you don't fall off the ladders. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of a break on that one. I could just re-record this when the fucking train's not going by, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm this deep into it. Whatever, fuck it. You guys don't mind, do you? No? Good. Fucking A. Yeah, it's that's probably the biggest complaint I could have with this game, is that it's more of the same. It doesn't really do anything that stands out that much in the context of the Mega Man series. So that's probably the biggest downside, and that's all I could say without giving you a spoiler, which you probably can already fucking predict anyways, but, in case you don't predict it, and, I'm not gonna spoil that for you. I wonder what it could be. I mean, that's pretty much it, Mega Man 5. Look, I liked it. I liked it basically because it had better music than 4. I liked it more than that, and it's a bit easier. And I like that it's an enjoyable experience. It's one where you can go in and you can just kind of breeze through it, but it's still a fun time, especially if you're not looking to be super hardcore about it. And I guess that's part of the recommendations I would say, is that, obviously if you're a Mega Man fan, you probably should play it because it's part of the evolution of Mega Man, it's part of the series, and it's a solid game. It's not a bad game, it's just that contextually in the Mega Man series, it doesn't stand out that much. But if you're already a fan and you kind of pass this one by, or maybe were dismissive of it, you should probably check it out. But for people who want to get into the Mega Man games but are worried about them being too hard, this is one of those where you could maybe jump into this one and you should probably be okay. It probably won't be too terribly difficult for you. You should be able to get a handle on it. I don't know. And you get the little neat to collecty things you can get in the stages. That was neat too. I should have mentioned that in the neat part, but I forgot to because I'm fat. Yeah, they don't really do whole lot story-wise, I guess, but it's Mega Man. It does what it needs to do, and it does it well. You know, Mega Man 5 is one where I guess, depending on how you get it, I think it could be worth $15 to $20, somewhere in that range, or less. Obviously, if you can get it less, that's always nice. Yeah, it's worth checking out, but probably more recommended to either big fans who passed it by, or to people who are looking to get into Mega Man but don't want to have it be too fucking hard. This is probably in your ballpark. Yeah, that's it. And now I'm just excited to check out Mega Man 6 again, because it'll be the first time I've played it since playing through all of these games. So I'm wondering if they'll give some context to that and make it better or worse, or have it be the same. I don't know. You guys should stay tuned to find out. Should stay tuned for that shit, because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of crazy stuff happening in there. It's gotta be, right? Oh man. Holy shit.
Mega Man.